welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Volker, and we will be continuing on with the Dash Arcana Spotlight Series in just a moment. First things first, let's go ahead and roll to see what sort, see what sort of soundtrack we get. And we're doing classics. Alright, so 2 pianos in a row and then classic soundtrack. Alright, so which arcana are we working with today? Well, there are 2 of these that I don't know very well and 1 that I know extremely well. So let's go ahead and go with Salvo. Now, my only real issue with this one is that it's one of those arcana that wants to be really aggressive, but it has a delayed startup that seems a little wonky to me. And it's also another one that only gets 1 use, but at least it recharges quickly. So since this is a ranged arcana, let's go right into it with a ranged build. So we're going to take 1 arcana that's going to be good for controlling the field, like, oh, I don't know, Frost Fan. We're going to take this. We're going to take 1 that's going to be effective at holding enemies back. As per usual, that would be Bouncing Blaze. But actually, maybe Fiery Yo-Yo is the better choice. Let's stick with that. Then for our signature. So Volt Pinball is technically projectile, but it's not what I would call ranged. Let's see. And then do I want to essentially run it as if I were doing Captain's Ring? Because what I choose next will heavily depend on whether or not that's what I want to do. Because if I choose not to, then I'll probably end up taking Aqua Breaker. If I do choose to, then I'm taking Dragon Circuits. So what would be most interesting? Probably Dragon Circuit. We'll do it that way. Then we will grab, instead of using Gloves of Gambit, we'll do Captain's Ring. That allows us to keep our options open. Alright, so as per usual, we will grab the retro floor plan. While it's on my mind, I just want to say I hope you all are having a wonderful time wherever you might be, day, night, whatever. I know I normally say that at the end of a video. I'm saying it now just because, frankly, I'm not having a great time with things. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, mostly because I don't want to create a lot of drama. But I bring it up because right now my situation has me a little scared, and I'm not sure what exactly to do about that. I don't want to go into a lot of details. Let's just say that poor mental health has created essentially a situation that is leaving me kind of reeling and struggling. Like, I honestly kind of hate where my poor mental health has been leading. But like I said, I'm not going to dwell upon that. I wanted to bring it up because if it looks like I'm kind of playing you know, under frustration or duress, that's probably why. Alright, so here's why I was saying I'm not sure about this particular one. Because in theory, the idea of having a Dash Arcana that fires projectiles is not a bad one, but the idea that they just go directly in front of you like that creates issues with the idea that this Arcana doesn't have a clear identity. Like, this is the sort of thing that should just be a standard and not necessarily a dash. Okay, well, I mean, we can upgrade it now, which is a good thing. Then my next question is, does Dragon Surge count? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. So it's hard to use this as a trap just because it just follows you in the same direction as you dash. So it's hard to use it in that regard. If the projectiles actually went faster than you and went ahead of you when you went to use it, that would do a great job at covering your approach, but it doesn't do that. So in order to use it aggressively, you actually have to put yourself in danger to dash into your enemies with it. That creates all sorts of issues. Kind of like the idea of the Crimson Clover for this one, but I will wait until the end of the round because maybe we'll get something that will make the adorable Mimic stand out as the better option. Just right now, I'm not seeing it. And that's a clear example of what I mean, is when Salvo wants to be an aggressive projectile, the problem is it's on a dash, and the dash is... and the way that the spell works is it has not been compensated to work like that. This is perfect. Alright, now that I've looked, yeah, I think Crimson Clover is the better choice. And I guess we won't be picking up Dragon Surge. So, oh well. I think I will pick up Equestria Cap, though, just for the enhanced movement speed. This will help us reposition a little bit better and hopefully give us some ability to use Wind Salvo properly. But hopefully you understand what I mean when I say that this is one spell that just has an identity crisis. And that's why I wanted to choose something that would do a good job as at kind of controlling the field a bit, because as it exists, just dashing into your enemies to hit them with a projectile negates the point of it even being a projectile. Especially if the projectiles don't follow you properly. And when I say properly, I mean it was probably designed to go the way that it does. But if they really wanted to enhance the usefulness of this particular spell, what they should have done is made it so that the projectiles actually go directly in front of you the whole time you're using it. So instead of them coming out from behind you and creating that like unfortunate delay that's just going to get you slapped by the faster melee enemies, the projectile should just be in front of you the entire time. Because as is, the way it works right now, you can't really use it aggressively, but you can't really use it defensively either, because the delay between the projectiles firing out in front of you and, you know, just them whatever isn't great enough. See, that's why Flare Rush works as a projectile-based dash, but more control. I'm gonna grab it because it's also going to do a good job at holding enemies still. And then, of course, my other issue with it is that because of how it works, more often than not, you're just going to end up wasting it dodging away from an enemy. And if you're dodging away from an enemy, then the wind salvos aren't being fired in their direction, therefore wasting. Like, this is one of those spells that I think works a lot better on paper than it does in practice. Because on paper, it sounds neat. It's like, hey, dash forward and fire a volley of wind arrows. Like, as said, on paper, that sounds neat. It sounds like it would be perfect. In practice, however, it just doesn't work. Nah, I'm not seeing anything here I really want. Like, Alchemist Stone is about the best thing. And if I pick that up, then we're going to have so much gold that I'm not going to know what to do with it, so I hope that I find Midas Relics. And it's about the best thing there is, so I'll grab it and hopefully we find some good Midas Relics. Well, Ring of Reserves will certainly help things out a bit. And yeah, we'll grab the Nerite Shell because now that we have the Merchant's Cart, I'm hoping to be able to grab some stacks. And when I say stacks, I mean I'd like to pick up at least one of the other parts of the Watercolor Palette. I'd like to pick up one of the other 6 parts of the Hunter's Satchel. When I say Watercolor Palette, I mean the Artist's Tote or Painter's Tote. So I'm hoping to be able to find, you know, more than just the usual 12 relics to really get the Merchant's Cart to pop off. And I'm sure you'll also find that having 2 shots of the Wind Volley is a lot more effective, because now you actually kind of plan out how it gets used. Now, admittedly, boss fights are definitely where this particular one shines. And what's funny is that Tunneling Drive is essentially the same thing, except for it fires them all at once, but it still has the same problem of they kind of start behind you instead of like alongside or in front of you. But I mean, we'll be getting to the Tunneling Drive later. Just understand it's going to be a lot of the same critique as Wind Salvo. Okay, we have anything down here that we actually want? Ooh, Hunter's still out. Perfect. Ow. Bitch. Oh, I hate those rooms with all the spikes in the corners. Yeah, I know there's nothing I can do about it, but still. I would also argue that the damage on Wind Salvo is kind of light. Like, if they really want it to be... If they really want it to be something that you take to use seriously, you know, as an aggressive projectile-based Arcana, then they should really make it so that it has a base damage of like 3 or 4. Because yeah, you're gonna be compensated a bit just by the sheer number of hits that you're performing. But because of how difficult it is to use in an aggressive fashion and how underwhelming it is to use in a defensive fashion, they really need to make it so that it's worth that its risk is worth the reward. As is, I just kind of feel as though you're putting yourself in greater risk than you get rewarded for. I'm sensing I'm not going to be able to take advantage of Dr. Song in this one. Also, don't read too far into that. Well, let's grab this so that we can get the upgrade. Test the coil. Alright, that's actually starting to add up now. And then because I'm having a hard time getting my basic and my first standard upgraded, I will take Tidal Blast. I would like to take Dragon Surge, just because it would work better for the build. But, of course, we're not being allowed to have nice things right now. Hey, Wind Salvo actually did something there. I'm surprised. Okay, what do we have here? I see two things here that I want. But before I spend money there, let's make sure I have enough to spend just in case Iris actually wants to be helpful. I mean, it's a long shot, but hey, you gotta hold out hope that maybe she's willing. Okay, so there's one. Fortunately, it's the one that I really wanted upgraded right off the bat. Not a bad fight there. Alright, let's go grab the two relics I'm looking for. Pretty soon we're not going to have a lot of use for money. So that Dagger of Midas will start to get us a nice chunky damage boost. And then you know my rule, you never turn down Sylvan help. And there we go. That's interesting. Alright, so we will grab this because I think That is going to be a better control method for this particular upcoming stage than the Tidal Blast. Oh, that was a quick boss room find. Also, how is this doing? Plus 28. Oh my goodness. Wasn't aware I had cast my signature that many times. So with all of my critique about Wind Salvo out of the way, and there you can see precisely why I was saying it's one of those things that you're going to have trouble using the way that it seems like it was intended for you to use. And hopefully that was a good example as to why you never use it in that supposedly intended fashion. Oh, I am in big trouble. I really need to find the shop like right now. I like to keep in mind that all of that was from being punished for trying to use it in the intended fashion once. Or at least very close to once. Mostly because of the snowballing effect. And there you saw that Wind Salvo was actively detrimental. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you can gather from how this all went down that I don't like Wind Salvo very much. I think Wind Salvo is actually a problem to your runs if you're using it. And you now see two reasons why. It has an identity crisis, and I really think that if they were to just make it so that the wind arrows start in front of you and move with you as you're dashing, so that they're always in front of you, that would make Wind Salvo far more usable. As it is, it's, well, you saw it yourself. It's damn near a death sentence. So yeah, shame about Wind Salvo. Hopefully we don't run into any other problem Arcana. Spoiler alert, we will. But thank you guys very much for watching. I continue to appreciate your support. I ask you, of course, to do all the YouTube stuff to help a brother get noticed in these trying times. And I will wish you all a wonderful day or night wherever you may happen to be. And I will see you in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker. Take care, everyone.